Electric cars have come a long way since the days of the Nissan Leaf and the iNev thing that Mitsubishi ended up making. Long gone are the days of the 50 kilometers of range and 16 hours of charging time. EVs now can reach 400, 500 and even 600 kilometers in less than an hour of supercharging. But one thing us car enthusiasts agree on is that EVs are usually born without a soul. So a few guys in Germany having pretzels for breakfast said that it's time for that to change. This is Audi's contribution to the EV industry. A 640 horsepower mean machine of acceleration that can put a smile on anyone's face. It's got a beautiful interior that speaks to your inner designer, with a body full of curves and aerodynamic vents. It has a pretty face and Audi's top-of-the-range laser-tech headlights. And a stunning rear design with taillights that says it's all about that cyberpunk influence. But all of that comes for a price. And the price for this RS is 660,000 dirhams, which is a big lump of money to throw on a car. But when you're taking into consideration the Porsche Taycan, especially the Turbo S, which is the cream of the crop of the Porsches, which is what this competes against, that costs about 800,000 dirhams. While the Tesla Model S is cheaper, the e-tron has a 2-speed transmission for optimal launches and highway efficiency, and it doesn't look as boring. So with that in mind, it looks like it's good value for money. And in terms of performance, it also manages to hold its ground well. The RS is the most powerful version of the e-tron, where it can do 0 to 60 in just 3.1 seconds. And maintains a decent acceleration till it hits the top speed of 240 kilometers an hour. Not to mention the really good brakes. Now that we've seen its muscles, it's time to see what it does in real-life situations. Now the spec sheet tells us that it can do about 480 kilometers on a full charge, or actually 420 according to what the car told me earlier today after a full charge. Maybe it depends on the mode that you're in. But I wouldn't trust that completely, because it depends on a million variables. It depends on how fast you're going, if you're driving with or against the wind, how much weight you're carrying, how cold or hot the weather is. So I'm going to conduct a test of my own. I'm taking the RS with me from Dubai to the beautiful eastern coast of the UAE, specifically to Fujairah and back, in a journey that will probably span about 300 to 400 kilometers. But the focus of the test isn't how far I can take the car in a single charge. It's about how often do I need to recharge and how hard is it to find a charging station. In Dubai, we're blessed with a lot of charging stations all over the city. So it isn't much of a challenge to find one here, right? That's why we're going to the east coast. So we set our destination to Fujairah. Oh, and check this out. If you want to enter the destination while you're driving, you can't use the keyboard. They make it much simpler for you by just writing the city or the destination you want to go to. Now, since we're on the road, we can talk a little bit about the interior of the RS and compare it to the normal e-tron GT. We know that the RS is more powerful than the GT, 100 more horsepower and 200 more newton meters of torque. And it has a higher top speed of 250 kilometers an hour. The RS has knee bags and a heads-up display. It has better upholstery with the RS badge all over the place except on the steering wheel. Well, to be fair, it's there on the steering wheel, but the RS button is not there. In the UK and America, they have the RS button, which basically activates the boost when you want to do a launch control and whatever. But here, instead of having that, we are stuck with a heated steering wheel in a country that is hot all year round. Nobody's gonna need this. They will need, however, the cooling seats, which I'm gonna use now because it's 34 degrees Celsius outside. A couple of more differences between our version and the US and UK versions. They do have an Alcantara steering wheel, which I don't. I have something that looks like it's straight out of the RS6, which I'm not complaining about, to be honest. I really like it. It has a really good feel to it. Plus, the roof. Over there, it's a full carbon fiber roof, while over here we have a non-functioning panoramic sunroof, which could be a problem, again, because this is a very hot country. And this would mean that there will be a lot of sunlight coming in to heat up the car before you get into it, if you park the car outside. The heat protection in it is actually quite good. When I sat down in the car this morning, I did not need to let the AC overwork itself to cool the car down. Which brings me to the AC controls. While most other cars are hiding all the functions behind the screen, Audi has done something brilliant. Having most of the functions in the screen is fine, but when it comes to AC controls and emergency controls, having them right there is much better for you, because you have more freedom when it comes to controlling the AC controls. If I want to lower the fan speed, done, there we go. That's all I have to do. I don't have to go through 3,000 procedures and skim through all of these menus just to find that button. It's right there. It's the same with temperature controls and the ventilated and heated seat controls. Well done, Audi. Now that that's out of the way, I have a bit of a confession to make. We're not going to Fujairah directly. We're actually taking a detour towards Hatta, because there is a charging station over there. I have 300 kilometers of range, as per what the car is telling me. And when I check the battery level, it says that we're in the everyday use percentage, specifically 68%. And that is making me feel a little bit anxious. Now, to be fair, I could probably go to Fujairah and finish my adventures over there, come back to Dubai and charge my car over there. But I don't trust myself. So I'll go find the charging station like the coward I am, which will give us a chance to show you how the charging infrastructure works and how you can charge the Audi e-tron GT RS. Now, since Hatta is technically part of Dubai, I can safely use this. We start by pushing this so you can open the hatch, scan the card, start the DC power. Oh, it's not gonna reach. All right. Again, we grab this, then let's hope it reaches this time, because I think this is as far as I can push the Audi. Okay, nice. I think we're golden. So it'll start blinking white, and then it's gonna turn green once it accepts the charging station. So we just have to wait for that now. Okay, so it just turned red, which means there is some kind of error. Since this doesn't work, and it's probably my fault because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to use charging stations, I am going somewhere else. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna head towards Hatta itself, since we are not that far away from it, and we're gonna try over there. So this is it. Say your prayers, guys. Plug B available. Okay. Oh, okay. Nice. This plug B. Awesome. Okay. I think we're gonna spend like 5 hours on this one. We've plugged that in, and I'm gonna plug this one in, and let's hope for the best. Show us green. 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 Yes. Okay. Final step is to check charging in progress. Beautiful. Okay, here's something that I just found out while I was trying to entertain myself for the past hour and a half while the car is charging. If for whatever reason the lane departure assist is turned off for whatever reason, maybe you gave it to somebody and that somebody just turned it off without telling you. I'm looking at you, Fadi. Here is how you can reactivate it. Well, for starters, it's not in any of the menus. Don't bother, I've checked all of them. It's not in the cruise control stick as you would have imagined. It's actually above here. This is it. You're welcome. So, the journey continues. Once the Audi got its equivalent of dino juice, I head out towards one of many structures around Fujairah that tell stories of the past. The UAE is full of forts like this one, This particular example was built in the 19th century, 250-ish years ago. But the earliest signs of settlement were about 1300 BCE according to that board. Which means this took a really long time to be built, probably because of the lack of resources and not needing a defense structure for a really long time. When we compare this beautiful fort to today's buildings, there is a huge difference in quality, durability, and so on and so forth. So take a look at how much we improved from 200 years ago. And it's the same with every industry. In about 100 years, we went from the Ford Model T to this. We really have come a long way. I want to talk a bit more about the interior. We mentioned the leather seats, and it also has a very aesthetically pleasing carbon fiber on the dashboard and the doors. The center console feels very solid. It's finally made of something that isn't cardboard for once. It's got 2 cup holders and a weird slot that is too big for your keys, but not big enough for your phone. While I did mention that the steering wheel does not have Alcantara, it's there on the center console and you can find it on the doors as well. And when it comes to the infotainment system, it's very responsive and is pretty straightforward most of the time as well. From it, you can control the driver assists and tweak them to your liking. It has a frunk with a sort of a decent space, and if you are Tony Stark and you're saying, oh no, it doesn't have enough space for my Iron Man suit. Yes, it does. The back seats are very comfortable as well, so for somebody from my height, I'm not facing any problems. The seats are comfortable and I have enough legroom because they've carved out some of the front seats. You can control the temperature as well, and you have 2 cup holders over here. And if Jason Statham is driving you around, he can handcuff you to these. If you're into that sort of thing, not gonna judge. So what have we learned so far? EVs can be exciting even though they don't make the noise of a V10 or a V12. The world is changing rapidly and is adopting EV technology at a faster rate than what we expected. But as we've seen today, it comes with its own inconveniences. If you want to go somewhere, you have to plan your trip around electric chargers. And sometimes that means that your whole trip is going to take the whole day. Which, by the way, after the faulty supercharger incident, I ended up charging the Audi in Diwa's Happiness Center in Hatta. And to their credit, they were very helpful. And once they knew about the faulty charging station, they immediately sent somebody to check it out. This shows that they do care about the EV industry and they want to make the lives of EV owners better and easier. As for charging in the East Coast, because I took the detour and charged in Hatta, I didn't even need to go to Fujairah and charge over there throughout my trip, which just goes to show how versatile the Audi is. So final verdict, what are my honest thoughts on it? Well, for starters, it is a very fun car. And also, it doesn't feel like an EV. Partially because of it not having 1-foot driving, but mainly because of the way it drives is pretty much like an internal combustion car. I don't know how to put it in words, but it basically simulates the engine braking you have in a normal car, and it's not as exaggerated as you have in Teslas, even at the maximum setting. The throttle pedal doesn't feel like a poor excuse for an accelerator. It feels really solid. So, if you live in a country that is adapting the EV shift, have enough money for it, and you want to buy something that doesn't look like an iPhone on wheels, then I believe that this is the right car for you. Thank you very much for watching this episode. If you liked it, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. And let me know your thoughts on the GT RS down in the comment section below. See you next time. YallaMotor.com is an online platform that provides buying and selling services of new and used cars. YallaMotor also has a massive encyclopedia of car specs and prices to compare vehicles that is continuously updated. In addition to a car insurance service including fully comprehensive and third-party vehicle insurance. A one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. YallaMotor.com